Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Me, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. Monkey D. Dragon is the leader of the largest organization that opposes the world government, and they are known as the Revolutionary Army, having many members of this organization scattered throughout the world, all fighting for the same cause, world freedom. However, the real reason that led Dragon to create the Revolutionaries is still unknown. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the possible reasons that caused the creation of the Revolutionary Army and why Dragon did it. But before we dive in, if you're new to the channel, or even if you've watched a bunch of our videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like, or even consider subscribing and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out and motivates us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing this video or your favorite with a friend. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So my friends, it's probably after the reign of the King of the Pirates, also known as Gold D. Roger, that Dragon may have had the idea to create an organization called the Revolutionaries. Now the reasons are still unknown, but it may have some involvement with Luffy's mother. In the promotional chapters of the One Piece film Red movie, we are given some hints about Uta and Luffy's past. And in chapter 1057, Oda decides to introduce us to Luffy's possible mother for the very first time. On the first page of this chapter, a parents' meeting is taking place, where Shanks is celebrating with his friends, while Uta is crying relentlessly. So Shanks and his crew members are bothered by Uta's crying, and they decide then to dance and sing in front of her to cheer her up. As Uta sees her father and all of the pirates start to dance, she begins to smile and starts laughing. And then we see a mysterious woman singing with a child in her lap, a child that has a strong resemblance to Luffy. Now in truth, we don't know that if this child really is Luffy. However, there is some information given to us through One Piece film Red that confirms that this child could indeed be Luffy, and that this woman with her mysterious face could be Luffy's mother. In One Piece film Red, Uta and Luffy are childhood friends, and since they were little, they'd created this friendship of theirs, which means that they've known each other since they were babies, for being written as a parent meeting in that chapter. And this may indicate that Shanks is Uta's biological or at least adoptive father, while the woman who's shown and is carrying Luffy on her lap could indeed be Luffy's mother. But we don't know exactly how this event came down, or even if Shanks was already a Yonko. But what we do know is that these events were taking place after Roger had already lost his life, and were probably when Shanks was vying for the title of greatest swordsman in the world with Mihawk. Now Dragon is not present anywhere in this scene. However, he could be thinking about creating the Revolutionaries, or maybe just even living a normal life with Luffy and his wife. But something must have happened to her, causing Dragon to give his son to his father Garp, and left with revenge in his heart against the world government. And for everything we know about the world government, it's quite possible that they could have been the ones responsible for doing something against his wife. They might have captured her or enslaved her, and there may even be the possibility that they have just maybe taken her life. But whatever the case is, this only further motivated Dragon to create the Revolutionaries, and there are other possibilities of events that may have happened to Luffy's mother, and she could still be alive, because Oda has made this character very mysterious, which means that this character's past brings a great mystery to the story. Now in classic Oda fashion, it's very possible that whatever happened to Luffy's mother may be revealed along with Dragon's past once we get a flashback, explaining exactly what happened to Luffy's mother, and also the reasons why Dragon created the Revolutionary Army. So as far as we know, and the very little that's been revealed about Dragon and the Revolutionaries, what we do know is that Dragon is the leader, and he's dedicated to destroying and bringing down the world government and its corrupt nobility system that allows the world nobles to oppress lower class citizens and treat anyone as however they please. Dragon considers all nobles corrupt, and there have been many events involving nobles that shape this ideology. But the one that seems to have made the most impact was the event in his homeland, which is known as the Goa Kingdom. While walking in his homeland, Dragon becomes enraged when he finds out that the selfish actions made by an innocent noble like Sabo disgusted him to be a part of them, completely disavowing the nobles and their selfish goals. Dragon then identifies with this little boy and agrees with everything he's saying. But the next day, after Sabo is shot by a world noble while sailing near the kingdom of Goa, Dragon saves him and invites him to become a revolutionary. Now, unlike the other revolutionaries who act in the front line of the missions, Dragon seems to act more behind the scenes and in the area of managing the organization, choosing the various missions and informing his team about essential information to be able to sell in this great battle between the revolutionaries and the world government. Dragon can sometimes seem quite cold and calculating in certain moments, and even seems to avoid celebrating, even if they're at great advantages against their opponents. He always warns his allies, saying to avoid celebrating because they hadn't won won the overall great conflict that was still yet to come. But even being quite strict and serious in front of all of this, at times we have seen Dragon shown to have feelings, being even happy in certain events, such as when Luffy was causing big problems worldwide. And Dragon is also extremely secretive about his personal life and history. In fact, no one knew about his parentage, and not even the revolutionaries close to him knew about his family or Luffy being his son. In fact, the world only came to know about this during the confrontation in Marineford, because Garp revealed to everyone that he is Dragon's father, and that Luffy is the son of the biggest criminal in the world, leaving everyone present, including the admirals, impressed with this information. Despite the serious face that he uses to try and intimidate people around him, Dragon is still a very kind person, and he's always kind to the people who are oppressed by the world government or the world nobles, because he cared for Sabo twice during their first two encounters. And whenever he frees people, Dragon always invites them to ally with the revolutionaries, offering help, food, and even training so that they can defend themselves and also help the cause of bringing freedom to the world. Since recruiting Sabo, he has trained him and made him stronger, so in the future, he could make him his right hand. And in fact, Sabo is the second strongest revolutionary and the most faithful to Dragon's cause, following everything his leader orders. Dragon even offered to let Nico Robin join the revolutionaries, but she ended up denying it because she wanted to remain a straw hat, but all the while still asked the revolutionary Koala if Nico Robin was okay after the time skip. And Dragon also seems to maintain a very serious and professional interaction with the subordinates most of the time, giving them orders that they cannot fail to follow, and even harshly blames those who do something he considers unnecessary. A good example of this is something that's recently happened in the manga, with the case of the passing of the King of Alabasta. All the revolutionaries were happy to see that Sabo had supposedly taken his life. However, the only one who found it somewhat disgusting and dishonorable was Dragon. Dragon even goes so far as to say that if Sabo really was to blame for taking King Nefertari Cobra's life, he would never want to see Sabo in front of him again, even though he is the most loyal revolutionary he has ever known, demonstrating that Dragon does not forgive anyone, even if that person has committed only one mistake, and especially those close to him, being very strict when the ideals of his allies do not coincide with his, causing them to do something that Dragon does not agree with. Because Dragon has always demonstrated that his main goal is the overthrow of the world government and the world nobles who run it, due to the hatred of their ability to take away people's freedoms, and even when they take away people's lives for nothing but their own interests. Any other goal beyond that, Dragon just does not accept, and he doesn't agree to take the lives of innocent people, even if they get in the way of his goals. Because in Dragon's view, revolutionaries need to be the examples of a peaceful organization that accomplishes their goals without shedding unnecessary blood or having collateral damage. Now, although the revolutionary army could be quite large and numerous, Dragon always takes the strength of the world government extremely seriously due to their enormous military power, and particularly worries about Cypherpole, and for this reason, he's always acting cautiously, analyzing all the odds of victory. He only orders the most necessary of missions that can make the revolutionaries get a great advantage against the world government, as in conquering territories and liberating people, and even infiltrating to collect more important information from the world government. Because at least at this point in time, a direct conflict between the world government and the revolutionaries is not going to be an option, and Dragon always seeks a peaceful way in which he can affect the world government. However, whenever he really does need to strike back and attack, we gotta know that he wouldn't hesitate, using all the strength that the revolutionaries possess. And it's because of this that Dragon is seen by the world government as one of, if not the biggest threat in the world currently, being labeled as the world's worst criminal. And in fact, he may have a bounty similar to that of a Yonko, or even more. One thing we do know, though, is that Dragon's first threat was raised 8 years ago during the revelry of that time, when Thalassa Lucas warned the other rulers present that he would be a danger to the world in 5 to 6 years. And this warning has proved correct, and Dragon now is an extremely infamous criminal. So to this day, the current goals of revolutionaries is still to overthrow the world government. However, Dragon may have an even greater goal in mind, something that might involve his beloved, who might still be alive, or may have lost her life because of some event that the world government provoked. But it's still going to be hard to deduce what might have happened to Luffy's mother, since in the story, not even Oda has given us any information about Luffy's mother. It's only been in this promo chapter that we may have even got an image of Luffy's mother. We also don't even know if she'll even appear in the future, being a character with a mysterious history and a hidden past, and possibly she could even have great importance to the story of One Piece. However, the reasons that may have led Dragon to become the world's greatest criminal may have been something incredibly serious, causing Dragon to have no desire to become a Marine, and then leading him to create a large organization to fight the world government. But for now, the reason is still going to remain hidden, at least for a while. But for this reason, Dragon could possess great importance in the future and could end up revealing to us his past and what would have happened to Luffy's mother, and finally, what led Dragon to abandon Luffy with his father Garp. But with all that said, we'd love to know what you think about it. Do you think that that woman we saw in that promotional material was Luffy's mother? Now sure, we do admit that it has been said that One Piece Film Red is not entirely canon, but we also know that Oda does like to put in little Easter eggs and little hints. Secondly, what do you think was the reason Dragon started the Revolutionaries? Was it because he saw something he shouldn't have, or do you think they did something a little more personal? And finally, do you think we'll finally get to find out Dragon's backstory, and how do you think Dragon and the world government came to blows? Let us know what you think in the comments below. So my friends, as we wrap up this video, I want to thank you all so much for watching all the way up to the very end. Be sure you comment on any other themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like or hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. I really hope to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.